doing a wonderful job hitting like all of the crowd controls. I don't think he's missed any crowd controls, which has been a big part of their success so far. So Ashka coming in very aggressively. We didn't see this last time, and if they were able to follow up just a little bit, they could have gotten her into her maximum health being down, but not able to do that. As you see Daniel coming in. Now he's taking actually quite a bit of pressure from, it looked like from the Lucy. I don't know what that was there, but the incapacity come out. Double M2, the root follow-up from the Javelin. Going to get pushed back though, so they're going to reset up just a little bit. Shifu going to come back in, hits the M2 again, but the barrier is going to protect for most of the damage. So a lot of superficial damage coming out here onto the blue team, but Daniel actually taking quite a bit of damage himself. So he is the first person to lose maximum health. As the Petrified Deadly Injection, though, coming out onto the Lucy. Blue Lucy getting taken down very low. But the Shifu again taking, and the Petrify immediately stops it. There's a follow-up, all Deadly Injection. Shifu taken down very low, spacing it around the corner. Shifu getting taken out super low, got his ultimate again, and is going to get pushed back. Has to counter. That is a huge play here for the blue team. And now they're setting up onto the orb. Who's going to be able to get the orb? It looks like the red team ended up getting that. Counter's not triggered. There's the Petrify, though, onto Blue Lucy. Blue Lucy taking so much damage. The stun coming out, just going to miss. He's able to walk out of it. And now Shifu taking a lot of damage. There's the counter, not going to get it, but the in-cap and a ton of damage out onto Bluesy. I did that one on purpose because you guys. So Bluesy going to be taking a Deadly Inject. M2 is going to steal the orb in the middle. Deadly Inject again onto Blue Lucy. M1's coming out, but Ashka still at very high health actually. And so if they're able to put, collapse onto the Shifu, this could go anybody's way. Red team has 53% health. Blue team has 60. Shifu putting in a bit of damage here. Bear going to come out, incapacitate. They're going to try and set this up. The stun not going to hit. There's the M2 to do a bit of damage. The root. Follow up M1s. There's the ultimate on the Shifu. Shifu getting taken out very low, but so is Lucy. Lucy's killed. And the knockback, then he's just barely going to get away. The counter not going to hit. He cancels it. Uses the space to avoid. And caps the ultimate. Petrify now the Deadly Inject. He's not able to get his ult out. Oh my goodness, he went from like half health to full health, half health to a quarter health, trying to get his ultimate out. So he's not out of this yet. He could use his EX space, heal up a little bit, or he could just get an amazing ult. The problem is his ult might put him into deadly territory and he might not have a way to come back. Comes in and is going to get blown up. So wasn't able to finish off that Shifu as Daniel just barely able to stay alive enough for their team to get the victory. Nice job here by Niwa. Oh man, starting off map 2 with a bang. Whew, this is a good one. So same Battlerite's actually picked up for everybody. I'm kind of surprised. So she got the movement speed, not the snare one. So I thought maybe she'd get the snare because she'd be able to dispel Shifu's space and then snare him. But not going to do that. So high pressure coming out to Lucy right away. The fear coming out, putting him at a pretty precarious situation as Skywing taking a bit of damage, is going to use his E to come back. Gets rooted though, high damage coming out, going to space to come back. Red Lucy wasn't able, or they weren't able to get Red Lucy to lose any permanent health. So they're going to try to follow up here onto the Shifu. Shifu taking a little bit of poke, nothing serious quite yet. He's going to get the knockback. There's the incapacitate. No Deadly Inject follow-up, but there's the Petrified. There's the Deadly Inject now, but both offensive players were petrified. There's a stun into M2s. Daniel getting taken down, actually surprisingly low. The barrier's out. The counter not going to hit. And now the damage immaterial though comes out. I was going to say now is the damage. And just misses his ult. That is unfortunate for his team. Double incap coming out. And they're going to get the sphere in the middle. The stun is just going to miss as the Petrify comes out. Deadly Inject follow-up. The heal's coming out, though. He's going to take almost no damage. Red team still at a severe disadvantage in the health as it is 30 to 80%. Deadly Inject coming out. The counter not going to be triggered again, so great job here. The spin, though, hitting both players. And the fear coming out. I was going to say Lucy going to take so much damage, but Shifu getting taken down super low. The counter's going to hit, incapacitate. M2 follow-up. Not going to be able to get the kill quite yet. There's the kill onto Shifu as an ultimate came out onto Lucy from Ashka, and Lucy gets taken down. So just like last round, round 1 goes to full Daniel, round 2 goes to Skywing. So it'll be very interesting who's going to be able to adjust now. Will Skywing be able to get take this and get the momentum going in their favor? Can they get a second round? That's what's going to be important here, because if they can get this next round, they are going to have so much confidence rolling into the rest of this map. So this could be huge. I am excited to see this next one. I think this is going to be one of the key rounds of this entire matchup. Will Skywing be able to overcome the hump from the first map is the question. A lot of damage coming out onto Lucy. She's almost lost her first bar of health, but now Blue Lucy taking a bit of damage. And Ashka going to leap back in, actually putting pressure back onto Lucy. But Blue Lucy taking a lot of damage, has to roll away, avoids the M2. No counter triggered again, so good job here. But the red team ends up grabbing the orb. So Shifu gets pushed into Lucy, but gonna get feared away, and they grab some health. Red team Lucy getting taken down pretty low. The stun barely gonna miss. The barrier is out. So now, once that is down, now's the opportunity to do big damage. But Shifu doing a ton of damage here to the Blue Lucy. They kind of leap back in now. There's the counter. I'm expecting the spin to come out very soon. He gets deadly injected, feared. Here comes the ultimate. Gonna steal the middle orb and do a bit of damage onto Lucy. Lucy gonna take it down dangerously low. Lucy gonna roll out of the way. Has the barrier up. There's the firewall. Just not in time though to stop the fear. There's the petrify. How do they set this up? There's the stun, and he's gonna be able to run away with his javelin. So the space coming in, not going to be able to hit Shifu. Does have the ignite on, so those M1s are doing a lot of damage. There's the stun to peel. Not going to be able to get the hit. I think the blue team got that, so big grab by the blue team. And here's the ultimate, though. Going to be able to roll out of the red team's ultimate. Ashka jumping in, deadly inject onto Lucy. Firewall coming out. There's the in cap. EX space being used to heal up a bit. Gonna use the EXQ, though, to petrify. So now damage being going to be followed up onto this Lucy. But actually she counter petrifies, and the red team's gonna get the middle orb, so bringing the health just a little bit back into reach, 30% to 55. This is very close as Ashka putting pressure again onto Lucy, ends up switching ultimate, tries to get them both, but gets to Lucy. Lucy getting the top very low. Lucy's killed, and there is the kill. Will Shifu be able to 2v1 this? Shifu is a person who can do it. No counter triggered though. Good patience by both players, and that has given them the first lead that they have gotten this entire grand finals. Great job here by DZN and Skywing. So Skywing, these guys are no slouches for sure. A full Daniel, the victors of last week's tournament, took it pretty handedly. They did lose one map, but for the most part were in control of the other two. I mean, the other two maps that they won quite handedly. So we will see how they end up doing here. What does full Daniel do to react? You see that Shifu is just sitting on there doing M1s, not really doing much other than that. And so they're going to have to push him off. Tries to use a javelin, but is going to miss. Ashka putting quite a bit of damage onto the Lucy. But the double, or the in cap into petrify. Everybody's basically CC'd except for one person. I think the blue team ended up getting that. I'm not 100% sure. If somebody correct me and let me know what's going on there. So Ignite's going to be on both people. This is Ashka's time to shine. There's the ultimate, just barely missing the double ultimate. So unfortunate for his team, but fortunate for full Daniel. The javelin just going to barely miss again. The orb in the middle ends up getting stolen by the red team. It actually went down to 0 health and wasn't taken. That is a little silly. I think they need to change that. When it hits 0, it should die. Shifu going to land the counter, putting big pressure now onto Blue Lucy. The Petrify coming out, though, should see a stun. Yes, do we see Deadly Injects? Actually, it just missed him. Not 100% sure how that missed him, but it did. Lucy going to try to run away here a little bit. Barrier is out on Shifu. Shifu waiting patiently, using the M2. There he is on the spin. Tons of damage onto Lucy. Absolutely tons of damage. Taking almost half of her health down. The barrier going to push him away. Going to use the space. And it's now still a favor. The health favor is still in favor of the blue team. However, the Lucy is taken down super, super low, where it's shared a little bit more by the red team, the damage. So the Petrify onto Blue Lucy, gonna come in there, gets the Deadly Inject just barely around the firewall, but Shifu takes quite a bit of poke himself, but puts a lot of damage onto the Ashka. Ashka gonna have to leap away though, gives him the 3 charges and takes a bit of damage. The fear happening from Lucy, gonna force her back. There's the stun, but Lucy, Red Lucy uses the Q to push it away, and it guarantees them that they got the orb. So my brain is getting fried. This has been so intense. Immediately dispels it, but now the Q's down. This could be a good opportunity for Ashka to try to get on top of this Lucy. But Deadly Inject coming out, the M1's a bit of damage coming out, and you see it's going to get pushed over again, and I think the red team grabbed that one too. Could likely see an ultimate very soon. Ashka does a bit of damage onto Shifu. Shifu, though, going to be able to clean him up, and uses the Q to actually, I don't know if he stopped it or if he just kind of pushed him away, and into the muck, going to have to roll back, gets it incapacitated, and eats the M2. So Full Daniel ties it back up, and maybe putting a halt here to the momentum of Skywing. We will see. This is Team Skywing versus Team Full Daniel. I got to remember that. I got to keep saying it. So 2-2. Round 5. Been very even. That first map, again, went into favor of Full Daniel. However, it could have easily gone the other way. All those rounds were so close. So Lucy going to have to heal up. Shifu actually taking a bit of damage himself. Going to try to get on the blue Lucy. M2's getting eaten by Niwa. Niwa, though's going to get the fear and come in. Now a lot of pressure being put onto the blue Lucy. Counter not going to hit the Petrify onto him. Here comes the stun follow-up, and he uses his space and is not going to get it. But he gets the sphere for his team. Coming in now, the M2 doing a bit of damage. No counter triggered there. Lucy, blue Lucy getting taken down very low. This is not good for his teaming. As Blue Lucy trying to get away. There's the Petrify. Going to roll away from the ultimate. Using the speed burst. Is not going to take any damage from that ultimate, which is very good. Just misses the Deadly Inject. And he's going to push it away. Uses his ult to secure that. And he's going to use his E to push back Shifu. The Ashka going to heal up a little bit with the Pure Fire. Couple M1s coming out. There's the stun. Just going to miss. M2's going to hit. Doing quite a bit of damage here on Daniel. And now the blue team has caught back up. Specifically, the Bluesy. Bluesy was able to heal up quite a bit from where they were. The Petrify, and he uses the ult to guarantee it again and gets a double ult. Deadly Inject onto Shifu. Shifu going to take it down very low, using the space. The stun coming out is going to hit, incapacitate though. Shifu going to take it down very low. The counter not going to trigger. The fear going out onto Ashka. Ashka trying to get back in. Is Shifu trying to get away. Not going to avoid the damage. As Lucy might eat that stun, just barely miss it. There's the firewall, using it to come around the corner. And Shifu now a little bit out in no man's lane. There's the Petrify, and a little, I don't know if that was miscommunication though. Lucy going to take a bit of damage. Is going to get the orb though. Gets healed back up. Double incapacitate. Lucy going to be taking a bit of pressure. Ashka now is back up. The fear just missing. Shifu putting so much damage onto this Bluesy. He's got to help him. The rune is going to hit. There's the barrier. The Petrify coming out. There's the double ult. Good EXQ to stop the ultimate and save themselves from taking so much damage. The orb is now up, and now it is the red team's turn to get the orb and get them back into this a little bit. Red team down to 34%. A lot of the damage onto the Shifu. Shifu not going to hit the counter. Comes in. Is he going to be able to get this ultimate here onto both of them? He ends up waiting. There's the root, the M2. There's the ult onto both of them. The ult away though, so much damage onto the Shifu. Shifu's gonna hit the counter. Lucy gets incapacitated. M2 eats a lot of damage. Uses the root again onto her from the javelin. And the blue team gets the orb now too. So Ashka gonna grab the orbs, be able to heal back up, using the firewall to avoid some of the pressure. M2's coming out. And Lucy's going to be able to grab a couple of the healths. So healing back up as Ashka eats a couple deadly injects. Daniel going to put pressure on Ashka. Ashka leaping away. The Muck is getting so close to incapacitate. The M2 coming out. Uses the EXQ. And there is a little bit of push in there. They both get feared into the Muck. One of them down. The M2 pushes him in. Rolls in. The Q is not going to be enough. And now Full Daniel takes the lead back in map 2 of the grand finals. Holy cow, what an awesome round. That was super intense. That was so good. I hope, chat, I hope you guys are loving it. I'm not going to be able to check it out quite yet as these last rounds fly by since they don't have to pick anything. And those of you on the VOD, hope you're enjoying it. This has been an awesome matchup between Full Daniel and Skywing at the ESL Cup number 2. This is the North American Cup, and I believe that North America and EU somehow need to clash here at a LAN one day in the near future, because this is just awesome competition. So to the action, Full Daniel already losing some of his permanent health. The blue team again has quite a bit of a health lead. Shifu taking a little bit of poke. The Petrify coming out. There's a deadly inject. and takes just a little bit of damage. Actually wasn't able to do huge damage. Uses the firewall again, the incap coming out, and oh, the petrify though, and blue team steals that. What a good play there from Has Given. Is going to be able to take the orb, but now taking a bit of counter pressure. Rolls a little bit too early, takes the damage from the deadly inject, just misses both players with his what do you call it, the petrify. So the panic is going to hit deadly inject onto Ashka. The red team mounting a bit of a comeback. Blue team steals it again, though. And so it's going to keep their advantage just a bit higher. Firewall coming out. A little bit of damage coming out. There's the petrify. The deadly inject is actually not going to do too much as it broke the shield. And ends up not doing much of anything. The root is just gonna miss from the javelin here from Shifu. Shifu waiting patiently. There's the incap, and they're both CC'd. No way for them to get that one. Deadly inject coming out on the Lucy. Shifu turns on the Lucy, putting lots of pressure. Ashka gonna jump back in. Shifu just missing his M2 there. I think the petrify hit's gonna be able to heal back up as Red Lucy taking a lot of damage. There's a deadly inject, and he's gonna avoid the damage though. There's the incap, not able to follow up too much more as he shifts his attention onto Ashka. So Shifu now will likely be able to, no, does not get the middle. The ultimate is going to get it. Pure Fire coming out, going to be able to heal. Barrier out onto Bluesy as Shifu trying to chase down. Does have the ultimate. There's the firewall, but the pushback there from Lucy. The counter is not going to trigger, incapacitate, and now coming back up here. Red Lucy getting taken down very, very low here from Ashka. Huge health lead for well, it's not a huge health lead, but the Red Lucy getting taken down so low is very dangerous. So it's about 70% to 40% now, actually, and that ultimate did a lot of damage, hitting both of them. Lucy gets speared into the muck, and synchronized. Oh no, I thought they both ended up dying. I was going to say synchronized death, but just the one ends up getting taken out. And now Shifu, as the muck closes in, a couple health orbs are grabbed. The petrify coming out. There's the stun. Blue team gets the orb. This is very difficult time for Shifu to win. The counter not going to trigger, and that's what he needs. The deadly injection coming out. There's the incap taken down so very low. The M1 just barely missing. There's the final blow, and he's going to tie it back up 3-3. Wow, good job here from the blue team. Able to recover. Full Daniel has their hands full with Skywing. So they decided not to switch champions at all. They stuck with the Ashka, and I really like the adjustment. And I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but in my opinion, I think part of that is there's a lot more pressure onto the Lucy, as I talked about before. And so look at that already. Almost lost 1 bar of her health. He's going to use his E to come away. Shifu not going to get the counter. Tried to predict there, but not able to hit it. The space in, the M1 just misses, and that would have been big damage. And that unfortunately forfeits the sphere for the blue team to Shifu and Niwa. Sorry, and Lucy. So coming back in, the fear is going to hit. Will Shifu be able to follow up? Red Lucy taking a little bit of pressure from Ashka. Ashka getting back, healed back up. We're both at about 90%. Still not a ton of very serious damage has been happening. The red team is going to get the orb again. But this time Lucy has taken significant damage. The shield not going to do, or I'm sorry, the stun not going to hit. Blue Lucy is getting a little bit of a reprieve here as Shifu reorganizes. Ashka goes in, the petrify onto Shifu. The fear immediately stops him. There's a stun, not going to be able to follow up. A couple M2s onto the Lucy. I think the red team ended up grabbing that orb there too. Deadly inject onto Ashka. A couple heals coming out. Going to use the space to avoid the damage. Going to get feared. Petrify coming out. Shifu likely will be doing some big damage here shortly. As he comes in, hits the M2. Deadly inject, just going to miss. Full Daniel Daniel taking a bit of damage there on the Shifu. There's the ultimate, the pushback though, the deadly inject. He's getting taken down very low. Barrier though is going to keep him alive. The Q going to push him away. What is he going to be able to do here? He's just going to heal up. The EXQ looked like came out and it ended up missing because of the space. The red team gets it. The petrify onto Lucy, and Lucy just barely avoiding that deadly inject. I think it was just out of range. There's the petrify. Shifu getting taken down low. Blue team still has the health advantage even after that excellent ultimate from Shifu. So gonna try to come in, picks up the health orb, is gonna get the counter, putting pressure back onto Ashka. Ashka's gonna get incapacitated, and the petrify coming out at the same time. There's the ultimate to guarantee that they get it, and also hits the Shifu. Shifu stun, and the M2's coming out. Good job there, good reaction onto the fear from Ashka. Ashka getting petrified. Lucy doing a good job of staying alive. They end up turning onto Ashka. Puts up the firewall, not gonna really be able to engage. and now the muck is closing in. The sphere is now back up. Who's going to get it? The sphere coming out. I think blue team might have got that, actually. The knockback, not going to get him into the muck. Shifu waiting for those heals, going to come in, put a little bit of damage, going to counter. Counter's not going to trigger. Ashka doing a lot of damage onto the red Lucy. Here comes the spin, though, the pushback from the sphere. The goo now coming out, and the kill pushes her into the muck and the goo. Is Ashka going to be able to get this? Going to push back Shifu, putting a lot of damage onto Lucy. Incapacitate coming out. They're likely going to get the orb. They do. There's the M2. Not going to really be able to use his ultimate, I don't think. Maybe he is now. There's the ult. Just misses both players. Going to have the pure fire, though, to heal up. The barrier going to be enough to keep him alive. The stun coming out. Just barely not enough to get the kill onto Lucy, and the red team has the 4th round of this map. Blue team has to win this one, or Full Daniel will be the victors of the ESL Cup number 2 for North America. Will Skywing be able to bring it back? Both teams clash into the middle. Playing a little passive. Actually, I lied. Leaping right in. Gonna fall back, though. Doesn't want to engage too hard. Keeping the ignite onto Lucy, but Lucy taking a lot of damage. Gonna be able to fear, though. Now that leaves red Lucy a little bit out of position. Red Lucy gonna have to go way around to try to reposition. And the blue team got that? I think the blue team got that. The counter not gonna hit. Petrify onto Lucy. The firewall coming out here again. M1's not gonna land. That's okay. Playing a little bit passive are both teams, as the tournament is on the line here for Skywing. Ashka gonna jump in. The Q gonna knock him back. Avoids the fear. Good job to the stun drop to peel for his healer. And the blue team ends up getting the orb again. A little bit of pressure being applied here by Shifu. There's the Petrify. There's the firewall. A lot of damage coming out from the firewall. The stun gonna zone him. Not gonna be able to come in there. Good job hitting her again with one of those M2s. But again, ends up being superficial damage, except Shifu now does have a bar loss. There's the stun, the ultimate follow-up, tons of damage onto Lucy, and it steals them the orb in the middle. Daniel coming in, trying to put pressure. There's the Petrify, deadly inject. Here comes some big damage, likely. The barrier, though, gonna be enough to get him out of there. Space is in. I think he actually stole that health orb, which was good. Petrify, deadly inject, and actually uses EXQ to keep him into the fear, or the Petrify even longer. Incapacitate coming out. Going to be able to steal that easily with his M2. Shifu gets the orb for his team. M2's coming out and wow, baits out, waits for Lucy to come out and then puts it on her. Barrier coming out onto Lucy. Lucy, though, going to be very vulnerable now that is there. The stun not going to hit. The M1's doing a ton of damage. The Lucy, though, doing a really good job of surviving. Is not taking nearly as much damage. Lucy trying desperately to avoid it. Here's the spin, though, onto Lucy. Lucy going to be able to get the pushback. There's the Petrify onto Ashka. Ashka, though, going to have her ult here very soon. Uses the E to reposition. The sphere going in the favor of the red team. The stun barely just missing. Continuing to chase. Is going to use the ultimate. Going to hit Shifu, though. Just misses Lucy. Lucy, though, gets petrified. Here's the setup. The root, though. And now the counter. There's the incapacitate. Going to push him back now onto the blue Lucy. The red Lucy coming in. Here comes the muck. Huge health advantage for the blue team. Going to space in. Bit of damage. Not going to hit the counter. Trying to push Lucy into the muck. Pushes Shifu into the muck. Takes a ton of damage. The M2 is doing a ton of damage. This looks very good here for the blue team. As the ult comes out, gets one, hits the second, and a lot of damage coming out, and there's the killing blow to bring it to the final round of map 2. Skywing is doing absolutely awesome. What a play there from Ashka to chase down that Lucy, and what a good job by Lucy. Took almost no damage from the Shifu. How do you have a Shifu sit on you for like 10 seconds and take no damage? I don't know. We need to ask DZN has given and find out what happened there, because that was awesome. So Shifu putting in a little bit of damage, not able to do much though because of the barrier. The EXQ actually just missed because of the E cast from the Javelin of Shifu. Javelin again, the fear gonna hit, counter not going to hit. Gonna push back again. Red team I believe got that middle orb. Here comes the firewall. I think that firewall has been a great use too by the Ashka. I think it's taken a lot of the pressure off from the Lucy, the red Lucy, and it also hasn't allowed the javelins to come in. So I think that's another thing that he did very, very smart. But a ton of damage coming out here from the ultimate of Shifu. Oh my goodness. And I think the blue team stole that actually. and it's going to heal them up a little bit, but almost all the damage here onto Ashka. Ashka is in a very precarious situation, both in health and position. Going to be able to meet back up with Bluesy. Petrify is out, going to get cleansed almost immediately. Shifu waiting to engage, playing it very patiently. Now coming in, gets the incapacitate. Who's going to get that? Red team ends up getting it. Ashka's a little bit out of position. There's the javelin. The follow-up, the ultimate gets stopped. Double ultimate, though. Pure Fire going to help heal him up just a little bit. And good counter there onto the E, so not going to get pushed back. Instead, gets behind him and has a lot of damage ready for him. You see Shifu running up. There's the spin. There's the kill. Can Lucy 2v1 this? Going to roll away. This is this tournament life for the ESL Cup number 2, and actually just says GG and gives it to him. And I got no problem with that. Super hard to come back when they're both basically full health. Full Daniel ends up taking the second match.